This goes out to my wife, Michelle, Miss Cook, Lady Rue, Lady Rue, Lady Rue, Lady Rue. Hold me down, I love you. She's a woman of integrity, focused on eternity. It's all about you.
Hello, everyone. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm Laurie Falkerson, creator, writer, producer, and host of the award-winning television show, It's All About Youth. You see all those fabulous trophies right there. There are 7. That's from It's All About Youth. And can I tell you, I'm so excited. God is so good. The Laurie Falkerson Show has just won its first award. Oh my gosh. And it's from the Accolade competition. Now, I borrowed this from It's All About Youth collection of awards, and I will have the official one coming up very shortly. But we just won in the category of interview talk show. So thank you, judges. Thank you, KSN, John Hoffman. Thank you for the TV crew and everybody that worked so far and hard for us behind the scenes. And thank you, Jesus, for giving me an opportunity to serve you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you all so much. Well, if you've never seen our show before, we talk about drugs and sex and racism and peer pressure and living your life to your fullest God-given potential. And I have a great guest for you today. His name is Darren Sluggaroo Williams, and he is a former gang banger, to use his words, and he's from the street, and today he's a pastor, and you're going to be so blessed by his testimony. So that's him right here, Darren Williams. Hey, handsome, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good to see you.
Good.
I'm
yes.
so happy, Darren.
Yes.
Sluggaroo was with us in 2003. He's been
Yes.
on our radio show many times. I'm so excited. And we're going to get into his story and his testimony and just how great God is. But I want you just to take a look at this previous clip. And this clip is one that was done here at the studios in Joplin, Missouri at KSN, the NBC affiliate, in 2003. So take a look at this. Before you became...
Well, I used to be a gang member up in the streets. I was a vice lord, a traveler vice lord.
Now, what is that?
It's like a traveler vice lord. It's different kind of gangs. And the vice lord was originated from Chicago, and they came down to Alton, Illinois, and they started putting people on. Putting people on me like recruiting people. So I, at the age of 12, began to be a vice lord.
Wow.
Going around the street, gang banging and all that stuff. And then after that, gang banging, then dope slanging. So that's slanging drugs.
Now, what does gang banging mean?
Just gang banging, going against other gangs, like the other gangs, rivals like Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, Crips, Bloods, and all them, going against another person.
So you had like colors or something?
Yes, we wore gold and black.
You did?
Yes.
Now, it's really great that you're here with us, because I know that getting out of a gang can be really tough.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you could lose your life.
Yes.
Or your family members.
Exactly.
But you were willing to take that risk.
Yes.
All right, now, how did that come about? How did you go from being a gangbanger and a dope slinger? Now, what's a dope slinger?
Slanging dope on the corner,
Does that
slanging
mean
drugs.
selling it?
Selling drugs.
Now, were you doing drugs as well, or just selling it?
Marijuana.
Just marijuana?
Yeah.
But still, it's a drug, isn't it?
Exactly.
It messed with your mind?
Yes, it does.
And now, I really want to know this, though, too, Darren, because what was your childhood like that by the time you're 12, you're thinking, I want to get out of this structured family? I don't know if you had a structured family or not, to go into the streets and being a gang.
Wow.
Darren Williams,
Wow.
Sluggaroo,
Wow.
oh my God, look at you.
Yeah.
And look at how I was trying to look all gangster and everything in my life.
It's all good. Right.
Right?
Wow.
I mean, and if you're just tuning in, I'm Laurie, and Sluggaroo is with us here,
Yes,
and that was
yes.
him back in 2003, and he's sharing with us exactly what you used to be. I mean, you
Yes.
were a dope slinger,
Yes.
and
Gun toter, everything.
tell us about it.
Man,
finish the rest of the
those
story.
were some trying times in my life. I had to do what I had to do to maintain that persona in the streets, and I was just looking at that. I'm just like, wow, I look so young, and I was just going through so many things in that point in time, and I just thank God that I'm still here 12 years later.
I am thanking
Wow.
God that you're still
Wow.
here
Isn't
too.
that
I know,
awesome?
and I love this about you because you're so willing to go the distance.
Yes,
and
yes.
we cut off right there because you were going to tell us, though, you were raised up in what type of family?
Well, my mother and my father, they were young, so we moved to California and Illinois a lot. So I was with my grandmother from 10 to 12, was in church, so I knew God.
Yeah.
But I strayed way at 12 years old.
And what enticed you to stray? What got a hold
Peer
of you?
pressure. My cousins and all of them that was doing things, and I said, man, I want to be cool too. So I wanted to hang with them. I didn't want to be the church
boy anymore, the little junior deacon anymore. I wanted to do my own thing.
So you're 12 years old, and I'm just so curious because there are people watching the show today, and that's their life. They're 10 and they're 12, they're having sex, and they're into drugs. I mean, how were you able to get access to drugs at 12?
Well, I mean, because you are around all these older people who get access to everything. You know, you have drinking, smoking, everything. I remember one time we was walking to a in particular home, and they gave me all the weapons. You know what I'm saying? So I'm walking with weapons in my pants because they were like, hey, they're not going to check a little guy. So you be just exposed to all of these things in the atmosphere.
And were you ever concerned about the consequences?
Not for real, because you're thinking that you're untouchable.
You are.
Yeah.
And were there consequences that came from this life for you?
Yeah, when I was 20 years old, I got caught up with drugs and guns. So I was facing 6 to 15 years. So I thank God I gave my life to him, and now I'm here because I would have just been getting out of prison.
Oh my God! So you were facing 6. So did you serve any time at all?
Well, I went to jail a couple times, and I was on intense probation, and I walked out my probation good. And like people say, I'm gonna wait till I get saved to get out of my mess. But I got saved in my mess, and then I just walked it out, and I thank God for that.
And see, that's so important what he just said there, because so many of you are out there thinking, when I clean up, when I look halfway better, then I'll go to church and then I'll do this. And if you've never known my story, you know 23.5 years ago I was a homeless drunk, and I'm telling you, I was fat, I was overweight, had a cast on my foot, I was a complete mess, and I mean, God just took me out of the gutter, and here I am today. To God be the glory. Don't go anywhere. Call your friends. We'll be right back. Sluggeroo is my guest. Hi everyone, Laurie Fulkerson with you, creator, writer, producer, and host of the award-winning The Laurie Fulkerson Show. I'm so excited. God is so good. And see, that's exactly the point of the premise of The Laurie Fulkerson Show. Is we just wrapped up right there before commercial break with me telling you 23.5 years ago I was a homeless drunk. I mean, you know my story, you know my testimony, and God just had his hand on me even when I was in the wilderness. And he knew that I would be here today in your home, in your television, on your cell phone, on your computer, and all of a sudden you're like, what? This girl is, she looks all fabulous, right? Thank you, Jesus. Well, there wasn't a time when I looked so fabulous because God knows everything. And that's what you're sharing with us. My special guest today is Darren Williams, Sluggeroo. And you know, you went from doing, what'd you say, intense probation? What is intense probation?
Oh, you have to be in the house at a certain time. You can go to work, but you had to be in at 7 o'clock.
You had a bracelet.
Well, yeah, just like that. And they will come check on you, and they will sneak up on you and see if you're at home. And I just was, you know, I said, I got sick of that lifestyle. I didn't want to keep doing that. And then I was doing God's work now, so I had to ask them before I can go out of state and do God's will. So it was rough. It was rough.
And you're so good and so strong. And so I love that you said you got saved in your mess.
Got saved in my mess.
And how did that come about?
I was in jail, and I said, Lord, if you get me out this time, I'm going to live for you. And since my nickname is Slugger, I knew 3 strikes you're out, right? So I said, I can't keep playing with God. Let me just give him my whole heart so he can just change my life. I said, I'm going to keep my braids and gold teeth, and I'm going to go and rap for Jesus.
That's right. And you're a rapper. And you have a new CD. And actually, he's rapped on our show many times. You're going to be a future guest coming up.
Awesome.
And you're going to actually rap for us live.
Yeah, we're going to get it in.
I know, because you've done it in the past. It's so fabulous.
Thank you.
But tell us a little bit about your new work.
The new one is called My Jesus. I'm thank God for that. He gave us an opportunity to come back to music because we had planted a church. So I said, you know what, Lord, what can I do? He said, now it's time to go back to music. So we made this new, nice record called My Jesus, and it's excellent.
You're a good rapper. And you're so cute, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you very
and you're
much,
married.
Lord.
You're married.
Yes.
And
going on 11 years.
11 years. That's Sluggeroo's information there on the screen for you. You can send him an email. Hit him up on Facebook. You have so many followers.
Thank you.
I mean, I put the video up there, and I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, people are like, oh my God, I need to be with you.
And some of those people knew me before I got saved. So that's a good thing. You have to show.
Did they get saved?
Yeah. Well, some of them did, and some of them just watching, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what can I do? Is this real? Because sometimes when you change your life, some people may think this is just a fad. This is just to get out of the trouble you're in. But they want to see if you're real.
Well, see, that's because you said, Lord, if you save me this time, I'll do it. I mean, that's what you call a foxhole prayer. God, if you just get me out of this drunken stupor, I'll never drink again. And I always notorious for relapse. I mean, because the enemy has you so bound up that, you know, because that's his job, is to kill and destroy. And today, you're a pastor. You have your own church. Tell us about your church.
Praise God. It's called New Beginnings Outreach International in Alton, Illinois. It's exactly where I'm from. And when I went back, he said, go back to your hometown. We went with another ministry, but then the Lord rose us up in 2012. And I was in a small barber shop, only about 200 square feet. I was the only barber there. And I said, man, what can I do to outreach in this community? We was in the hood. So I said, man, I want to reach some souls. So every time they would get in my chair, I would just talk to about Jesus.
Oh
and
my God. And they're like a sitting target.
They're sitting target. Why doesn't getting a haircut?
With your
like,
clippers.
what is he talking about? Right. So it just, you know, it embedded in them, and it just birthed from there. So we was in 1 year in the barbershop, went from there to the hotel for 4 months, and now we're in a new 4,000 square feet facility.
Oh my God, it's so great. So you have everything under one roof, if you will. You have your ministry there, you have a church there, you have your barbershop. So you're making money, serving the people, serving God. It's so fabulous.
Yes, and it's all for Jesus.
It is, and you got saved in 2003?
2003, yes.
So that's 12 years.
12 years. 12 years. We're going hard. And like I tell people, if I was going hard in the streets, gang banging and drug dealing, I'm going to go even harder for God.
Yeah.
Because if you do things for Him, anything you do for Him will last.
That's right. Well, see, that's what I said. I said, God, I'll take all the energy I have of being the best drunk.
Yes.
And I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And when I grow tired and weary, I won't go back to what's familiar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. So when God gave me the vision for a TV show, I had no idea how to do it. I didn't know anybody in the business. I had people saying, you can't do it, you don't know how to do it. And I didn't.
Wow.
But what I did have was the commitment I made to God.
Yes.
And that was, and Sluggeroo, if somebody said to me, you can't have a drink, and as addicted as I was going to another bar until I got the drink.
Wow.
So that was the energy I had to take towards getting a TV station that would support my dream that God gave me. And 1, 2, 3, the doors just began to open. But you got to bust your butt and you got to work hard.
Yeah, you got to grind. There's non-stop grind. People are like, oh, you're going to do this. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to grind.
You're supposed to grind.
To get things that you want, you got to work hard for it.
This is what I'm telling you. For 12 years, you guys, I have Laurie Fulkerson's show 1 year now, and I have It's All About Youth on the air for 12 years. And let me tell you, every month I drive 10 hours round trip to do the show, and you know, so every time you see me, I have just driven 10 hours round trip, and I've been doing this for 12 years. And you know what? That's just this part of it. It's not the writing of the show. It's not all the other stuff that goes behind it. So it's like you have to be willing to go the distance. And that is what God wants. He's looking for the champions. But when you were out there slinging the drugs and doing what you were doing, He knew that you had the goods. I mean, you already were a people person and networking.
Exactly.
I mean, you had PR.
I knew how to do, business, man.
You could sell the drugs.
It was easy.
Right.
So I said, if I can do that, let me change it for another boss.
That's right. Change it for another boss. And His boss today is the Lord. So is mine. And you too. Listen, friends, there's hope from you. I'm Laurie. He's Darren. We'll see you in a minute. Stay with us.
What's up, everybody? We're starting all our ministries back up. If you want to book Sluggeroo and Lady Roo, go to sluggeroo.com. We also have our clothing line back out, and we're going to start with Lady Roo Collection.
Hi everyone, Laurie Fulkerson. I'm so happy you're with us. Don't forget you can set your DVR, set your recorder, record this, watch this in the middle of the night whenever you're ready to watch the show. If you're in a funk and you don't know what to do and you're thinking God has overlooked you, no He hasn't. He's just got His hand over you, watching you, protecting you, because He has a plan for you. Don't forget it. And this is what I love to say, Sluggeroo, is that I say to my mom, Mom, be happy you had such a daughter that was such a mess, because God had big plans.
Big plans.
And so for all of the parents that are out there that's praying for their children, or maybe have just given up on their children, saying there's no hope. There's hope, right?
Yes, there is hope. There is hope. We can just keep praying for them, keep believing that God is going to change something in their life.
Yeah, He is. Now, we were talking a little bit about some of your recent work, and we have Sluggeroo Entertainment. That's you, Sluggeroo Entertainment. I mean, look at what He's done. I mean, it's just amazing. God has plans, and this is the testimony of Sluggeroo. I love it. You can get all of these by going to his Facebook. You can, talk to him. He'll send you a copy, and there's just a small charge. Of course, nothing is for free. The Revelation and the Prophecy, all of Sluggeroo's information is there on the screen. But you know what? You also have Sluggeroo Entertainment. Now, do you ever just bring an outsider in that maybe wants to get new into rapping, and you help them and take them up under your wing?
Yeah, we have Sluggeroo Film, Sluggeroo Entertainment. We have a recording studio. We have a photography studio, and all that in the same location. So we try to help people get to their next level, or help them and do what they need to do.
And see, there are so many anointed people out there, and call him. Send him an email, let him know that you have talent and you want to try it. We have to try, right?
Yes, gotta try.
We've got to try.
Yeah, got to try. You got to make something out of nothing.
Look at what you've done. I'm so proud of you. You're so cute. You're so cute.
Thank you very much.
I mean, isn't it funny looking back at the role in we had?
Oh, I'm a baby.
I know. And do you remember what I said to you? I said, you look like Snoop Dogg.
Right,
you don't look like Snoop Dogg right now, right? His look stays the same, but yours has just evolved.
Yeah, I just evolved into a grown man now, so I thank God for everything.
I thank God for it too. something I really want to talk about that, you know, I'm from St. Louis and you live now in Florissant.
Yes,
but let's talk a little bit about all the recent chaos and all the drama that's been happening in West Florissant.
Yes.
You know, I mean, in Ferguson.
Yes.
In Ferguson, Missouri. You've seen
Missouri.
it. I mean, you know, recently we had the two cops that were just shot.
Right.
You know, with the recent, when the police chief,
and all of that,
when the police chief decided he was going to
down.
step down. But, you know, you're African American.
Right.
And, you know, what is it like for you being an African American? Do you live in fear?
Oh, it's really not fear, but it's just taking the proper precautions, you know, because some things can happen because of your race or because of the color of your skin. So I just make sure that I do everything right, you know what I mean, and keep my stuff up to date, tags up to date, and all those things, so I don't have to go through that extra stuff.
Well, because you do hear that, you know, you hear driving while black.
Right.
Regardless, you're driving while black, you get pulled over. So you mentioned the tags. I mean, what is it like for you though, to get in the car and have to think? I mean, that's a part of your daily thought.
And especially for me, because I'm an ex-drug dealer, gang member, so when you run my name, my stuff is going to pop up, you know, so they be like, wow, this guy may have a gun, this guy may be in that lifestyle. One time I had to let the guys know, like, man, I'm going to change, I'm a pastor now.
Yeah,
so then they be like, hold up, well, he is different, you know? Yes.
Yeah, and Michael Brown, Michael was 17 and he was shot. And did you see it? I mean, when you saw it for the first time, what resonated in your spirit?
Actually, we couldn't believe it because we did ministry all that weekend up and down West Florissant.
Really?
That night we was at a church, and that day we were going to be on that same location doing an outreach program, but it didn't get approved by the mayor. So we was like, wow, we were going to be on that exact location. And the Lord gave me a word, a prophetic word for St. Louis in 8314, my birthday, that's my birthday, 8314, but he said there's going to be a new beginning in the St. Louis region. 6 days later, that happened. So it just got everything on that focus point of Ferguson, and he gave me an acronym for Ferguson: fighting for eternity, return to God using spiritual warfare on negativity. This thing is a spiritual thing. It's not just Black Lives Matter, it's about your souls, and that's what it is. It's spiritual warfare going on.
I mean, okay, so if somebody's watching the show right now and they might right away say, well, yeah, but Michael Brown, I mean, was he a spiritual man? Was he a man of God? I mean, expound a little bit more on that.
I think things happen so God can step in. You know, regardless of if he's, you know, serves God or not, things happen so you can get, hey, it's a bigger power out here. There must be a God out here. There has to be some peace somewhere, and we can find it in Jesus Christ.
Well, I think for a minute there, we started to have, you know, Ferguson evolving. I mean, and the protest went on for a while, and they're going to continue.
Yes, they
and
are.
then it began around the nation.
Around the nations.
Yeah,
around
and it just continued.
Yes.
And then it kind of quieted down for just a minute, and then they had the announcing of the police chief, you know, resigning, and everybody was like, but that's what everyone wanted. That's what they were protesting, for him to resign. And then all of a sudden, this guy, you know, decides he's going to attempt to take out the two police officers.
That's terrible.
And then when you hear our Attorney General Holden, Governor Holden, say they were just thugs.
Wow.
They were just street thugs.
Yeah. It's crazy because, you know, sometimes people will give you that, you know, montage, if you will, you know what I mean, or that title of that, because it is some thugs out there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Sometimes they may not be, you know, what you expect.
Yeah.
I was like today. I was riding. I seen a guy sagging. But he wasn't black.
What do you mean sagging? The car?
Yeah, with his pants.
Oh, with his pants. All right,
You know?
with his pants.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Sluggaroo. Welcome to the award-winning The Laurie Fulkerson Show. I'm so excited. God is so good. He can take you from wherever you are. He can take your mess and turn it into a fantastic testimony, just like mine, just like Darren Sluggaroo Williams. If you're just tuning in, I'm Laurie. I'm so glad you're with us. I realize there are so many other places you could be. Let me have a telephone call from you. Send me an email. Let me know what you think about the show. Let me know if you want to be a guest on the show. I'm so excited. You just call me. I'll call you back. I promise you will. It's so exciting. I had a girl just the other day call me from New York. And she called and left a message. And she's like, hi, my name is Samantha. And she's like, I'm calling from New York. And God told me to call you right now. And I called her up, Sluggaroo. And I called her the next day. And I called her up. And she's like, oh my gosh, I thought you were a bill collector. She said, who do I know from Missouri?
Right.
I said, it's Laurie. And she goes, oh my God. She goes, I was watching your show on racism. And she said, the Lord told me to call you right now. And she said, I did it as a dare because I wanted to see if this girl is all fluff on TV.
Wow.
Or is she really going to call me back? And she goes, and you did. I'm like,
That's
yeah,
excellent. Right.
I do. I mean, I'm going to call you back. You know,
personable.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. So call me up. Let me know. Our special guest today is Darren Williams, Sluggaroo.
Yes.
He just has this fantastic revelation and prophecy and also the testimony of Sluggaroo.
Yes.
You can go to his website, go to his Facebook. If you have talent, if you want a great photograph, if you want to get your hair cut in the barbershop,
everything.
Contact Sluggaroo.
Yes,
He's in Florissant, Missouri.
Yes.
Before our break there, we were talking a little bit about how God has his hand in everything and God has a plan for everything.
Yes.
You being a pastor, doesn't the Bible talk about how the good, as we get closer to the end of the world as we know
Yes,
it,
yes.
doesn't it talk about how the good, those that are righteous, if you will, turn evil?
Yeah, it says even the very elect, will be deceived. So we just got to be very conscious of the Holy Spirit, be very conscious of what's going on, because these are the end times.
Yeah.
Things are going so crazy. Things are uproars and all that, rumors of wars. All those things are end time things, and we just have to be aware of that and make sure that our heart is right with the Lord.
Yeah, I remember watching so much of the footage, and I was just thinking, wow, because you're talking about how God really wants to bring his people together.
Yes.
That you said it was not about race, rather it's a spiritual thing. And the Bible does, what does the scripture talk about? I will heal your land if you turn from your wicked ways.
7:14. It says, if you humble yourselves, pray, seek my face, I will heal your land. Turn away from your sin. So basically he's saying we have to humble ourselves, pray, seek his face, and then he will heal our land. And that's what's going on. We have to, healing has to take place.
Healing has to take place. And, there is no question that, I'm from St. Louis. St. Louis is a very strong racist city.
Yes.
And, it is, and it's just so unfortunate.
Yes.
But I hear, the Bible does say, I love all.
Yes.
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 For God so loved the world.
The world, that's everybody.
The world that he gave his only
Yes,
son.
yes.
He loves you no matter what color you are.
And whosoever, white, black, red, yellow, whatever, whosoever will, he loves everybody.
He does, because he's blessing you.
That's right.
I mean, and so what can you do? What can you do? What can your fellow man, the African American, because is it so that the African Americans have to come together to encourage the other African Americans to have a different look? Because I don't know, would they take it from me, a white person?
I mean, they probably will if they're open-minded. It's vice versa. Just like another white man might not want to do it. But it's just about showing the love. The love that's shed abroad in your heart, and that's what it is. Love, spreading love under God's grace, everywhere respectful to rejoice on and on. That's what's going to take. Love.
Well, I think a lot of people are very encouraged because the Ferguson is going to, as you said, it's going to be healed.
Yes.
And it started to move in that direction, and good things were coming,
Right,
and then it got
right.
slammed again. So
Exactly.
God has his hand there.
Yes.
I'm very curious to see what's coming forth.
Yes,
I
yes,
am. I'm
me
very
too.
curious to see what's next for you.
Yes.
What's next for you? You're telling me what God is doing.
Yeah, we're back. We're everything we took from hiatus, we're coming all the way back, and we're going to do it all the more. And we're excited, we're pumped, and we're going to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Do things in advance. We have a lot of things going on, so we make sure we do things in advance, timely, and we knock them out.
Yeah, you do. I'm
Yes,
so proud
yes.
of you.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
so
Thank
proud
you
of you.
very
And
much.
if you have never seen, the Laurie Fulkerson Show, you must see it. Go to my Facebook as well. You can go to my YouTube, Laurie Fulkerson YouTube. You can also see the Laurie Fulkerson Show and It's All About Youth television show all over the world on truly.com, TRULI.com. My special guest today, Darren Williams,
Yes,
Sluggaroo.
thank you,
And
you.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you very much,
You're
Laurie.
just
Wow.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You're so beautiful,
Yes,
so
yes.
talented, and I can't
Amen.
wait to see what God's doing. This guy
Amen.
goes the distance.
Yes.
God is looking for those that are willing to go the distance. So I'm just thankful that he has chosen you and that you're here, and be looking forward to one of our upcoming episodes because you're going to be on with your wife.
Yes.
And wait till you see her. She's fabulous. So I want to thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all the love for the last 12 years.
Oh my God. Yes. On more, on more, on more. And friends, until we meet again, remember this. Be careful what you think, for what you think you will say. Be careful what you say, for what you say you will do. Your thoughts have the ability to create or destroy your destiny. And so if it can be thought of, it can be done. And you can do it. And Jesus asked, what would you do for him if you knew you wouldn't fail? I'm Laurie Fulkerson. I'll see you next time.
What's up, everybody? We're starting all our ministries back up. If you want to book Sluggeroo and Lady Roo, go to sluggeroo.com. We also have our clothing line back out, and we're going to start with Lady Roo Collection. You can get the information at the bottom of the screen. What's up, everybody? We're starting all our ministries back up. If you want to book Sluggeroo and Lady Roo, go to sluggeroo.com. We also have our clothing line back out, and we're going to start with Lady Roo Collection. You can get the information at the bottom of the screen.
We walk by faith, all we do is by faith. I can see it, it's by faith. I believe it, it's by faith.